Happy Sunday evening, everyone. It's Sunday today. I've lost track of what day it is. I am going to run through Q&A, just answer anything I can to help you guys this week. It has been a highly productive weekend. I feel pretty burnt out. It's been a hell of a lot of work done the last few days, including launching my podcast. There is a free training seminar for clients, which will be announced shortly, which has been arranged. Sorted out loads of my accounts, checked in loads of clients, and done a ton of other stuff, so it's been highly productive. So what we're going to do is just run through any questions. Anyone who has any questions, please jump in on IG Live and ask anything you like, and I will do my best to do it. So first question from Lorenzo, who was on one of the previous Shred and Eat programs. I've seen some challenge where guys eat 20,000 plus calories, but what happens to their body after that? Their digestive system is fucked, to be honest with you. So the reason people do stupid stuff like... This is what grates with me about the fitness industry and social media. People do stupid things like a 20,000 day cheat day just so people watch it to try and get viral content to get followers. But in reality, by all means, you might get lots of views on that. But what value is that adding to anyone's life? The fact that you're an idiot and you've eaten 4,000 Krispy Kreme donuts. It's going to make you feel pretty shit, and it's not going to be good for you in any respect at all, and anyone will understand that. And anyone who watches that sort of stuff, just don't know why you would watch it. Question: functional training or rest days, your opinion, some example routine, can you point me to please? Doesn't really make sense in terms of a question. If it's a functional training on a rest day, then that's a training day, so it should be part of your routine if your functional training is your goal. So next question, how many exercises or sets per muscle group per training for a good full body workout if you train 5 days? Well, if you're training 5 days a week, you don't want to be doing a full body workout every day because you will never recover. So you'd be better off splitting it up into body part training or doing upper lower rest. You don't really want to be doing more than 3 days in a row without a rest day, to be honest with you. So yes, that doesn't really make sense either. So next question, let's see if we can find anything good. Okay, what's the best way to do water carb manipulation a week before going on holiday? Now, do you want to know the reality? Is if you're actually lean, your body won't be holding water, because if the only muscle doesn't hold water, fat holds water. So if you're lean, you're not holding, you've got a load of fat, then you won't be holding water. That being said, when you fly, you can get water retention. I suffer from that as well. So something I would suggest doing is if you use dandelion root and vitamin C, they can also help to flush water. I would also keep water high when you're flying and also when you land and the day of travel. And I would avoid carbohydrates whilst you're traveling as well. That will work well. That would be my best suggestion. Next question, how do I lose weight easily because I drink 2 shakes a day and I go on a 2-hour walk? And you're 13. I would suggest that you listen to what your parents tell you to eat. How many days do I train a week? So I have 2 days a week where I do no weight training, but I will do some form of exercise every day. I currently have 2 days a week where I do double weight sessions and no cardio, which the first time I've done that is a very, very interesting dynamic. So there we go. Middleton, I'm assuming it doesn't matter, but if I live in Australia, can I buy your programs? Yes, if you live in Australia, you can still work with me. The wonders of the internet, my friend. I have a lot of clients in Australia. Probably after the US, Canada, UK, Australia would be the one after that. Repping Muscle Nation, Australian company. I have a lot of ties to Australia. It's somewhere I hold dearly to my heart and somewhere I haven't been that I want to go. So yes, if you're in Australia, I can definitely help you. So that is no problem at all. We will chat. That's no issue. Question on natural test boosters. They're a waste of money and it's a supplement scam. So I wouldn't bother with that if I were you. Luke, do you enjoy being mean to your clients and taking wraps off their plan and then really mean taking their cashews off? Luke, all I care about is getting you results so you look disgustingly lean, and it's going to happen. So whether you like it a lot, as long as you stick to the diet, you're going to be inside out shredded for your stag do and then your wedding. So I don't think I actually posted that story transformation of your progress yet, Luke. But Luke is one of my clients who's cutting for his wedding, and his stag do, and the progress is absolutely incredible. So really, really happy. He came actually to see me at Body Power. He's one of the people who made my weekend. It was really, really cool to see him, and also his wife-to-be, who's also joining my programme, which he bought for her as a wedding gift, which is very nice. They tagged me in a very amusing story the other day of them both doing cardio to see who could get the leanest for the wedding. So we shall see who wins that one. Next question is best for size and strength rep range 5x5, or would more like 6 to 8. I don't really like 5x5 style training, to be honest with you, unless you're looking to try and you want to become a powerlifter, just focus on getting better at bench press. You need a combination of all types of training, really. Fast cardio in the morning is always optimal, in my opinion, particularly when cutting. Gloria, one of my lovely clients from Greece. How do you fight the craving? 0 syrup, 0 sugar drinks, or do you have any other recommendations? I am feeling that a little bit today, to be honest with you, and I have been the last few days. So diet, sodas and stuff work very well. Some people say that it can trigger you off in terms of wanting to eat more sugary stuff. I don't really get that. To be honest with you, I find filling myself up quite a lot with vegetables works very well. So I tend to eat a lot more greens when I'm cutting, just to try and fill my stomach out a lot more. Drink plenty of fluids. I really like Robinson's sugar-free squash is a fan favourite. That with ice is very good. Those would be my go-tos. That's it really. Sparkling water, it's another good one. So Mohammed, can you gain 5 kilos of muscle in 12 weeks? No. Next. It's fine. Any other? I live in Kosovo. Any reasonable question? Intermittent fasting versus 4 to 6 meals a day. Intermittent fasting is never optimal, in my opinion. Rodo, I'm not mean. I'm getting you results as well. So you can have the chocolate, my friend, but then you won't be lean. So it's up to you. It's funny you say that, the Skinny Food Company sauces, Luke. I actually was clearing out my cupboard earlier, and I've got about 4 of them, which I haven't opened yet because I'm a bit funny about sweeteners and syrup. So I've got a fair few of those there, which actually I was going to try, but then I forgot I had them again. So there we go. What's the quickest way to lose belly fat? You don't really want to be looking to crash diet, but you just want to put yourself in a calorie deficit, so do some cardio, set your diet up correctly, Darren, and you will lose body weight, my friend. It's that simple. I have to put this question on there. I like your hair. Fair play, my friend. I respect that. Let's see. A lot of strange questions here. I'm just trying to find one which is appropriate. If I buy one of your programs, is there any purchase I need to make besides the gym? I'd recommend a protein supplement, a carbohydrate supplement, creatine, an amino acid, and a multivitamin. I can add in additional things to that, but it depends on your budget. Realistically, the most important thing is gym and food. You don't necessarily have to have the supplements, but it's obviously person dependent. What do I add to my steak in the slow cooker? Is it a sauce? No, I use spices and herbs. So today's variety was a Jamaican jerk seasoning, which was very good. And I also used a fajita seasoning this evening on my steak mince, which is currently in the pressure cooker. I can hear going away. Is my program solely upper body? I want to shred a lot of... No, it's obviously not wholly upper body, unless you've broken your leg. So it's for your entire body, my friend. How long cardio should we be doing for it to be effective? It depends. I can't give you a specific answer with a general question. Me and Chris are like best friends, my friend. So we actually spoke earlier on the phone for quite a bit. We speak a lot. He's just away a lot, and I'm away. So he's in Ireland. I'm in England, and then he comes back on Tuesday to England, and I go to Ireland on Wednesday. Role reversal. So we train a lot together, to be fair. Has anyone got any reasonable questions here? Because there's a lot of rubbish that I'm going through. I'm not asking anything more to do with... Yes, that's quite a good one. Your first leg day experience. I can't remember because it was so long ago, but I do remember vividly a few times not being able to walk and not being able to sit on a toilet seat, being highly unpleasant. And if you take like 2 weeks off and then you go back to training again, like balls out, that happens again, and it's not a fun place to be in. Someone says I sound like Billy Idol. It's not pleasant. So, Lawsy, I'm doing cardio after weights due to timings. Okay to eat the worst workout shake? No, that's fine. So, yes, you don't want to eat anything before the cardio. So you don't want to do weights, eat, and then do cardio. So do the weights, do the cardio, then eat. In an ideal world, obviously you'd want to do cardio separate from the weight training because there's an effect on mTOR response, which is muscle protein synthesis. However, in reality, it's not going to make that much difference, and unless you're a 300-pound bodybuilder, I don't think it would be a problem for you, so I would not suggest that's a problem. Is your program downloadable? Is it access to your site for 12 weeks? It's a custom program. How many meals would you recommend to gain muscle mass? It depends. 6 is probably, on average, the amount I'd recommend for most people is probably ideal. Another question, any side effects of protein? You get jacked. Realistically, no, as long as it's good quality protein. You're not going to be able to eat enough protein to cause a huge amount of issues. Advice for what to look in a good quality protein supplement: carbs, protein value, ingredients. I would probably go by the brand, to be honest with you, would be the one thing I would say. So, and if something is cheap, think about it, it's going to be cheap for a reason. Also, when you actually use a whey protein, always get a whey isolate, because a whey isolate is the highest quality of protein you're going to be able to get, or a hydrolyzed whey, rather than a concentrate, which would be a cheaper one. You'll notice with a whey isolate versus a normal whey protein, sort of geek I am, that the texture of the powder is very different. So whey isolate is very granular and grainy and finer, whereas other whey proteins would be much more powdery because they tend to add like lactose powder and crap like that into it to bulk it out to look like there's more. But that's the thing I'd look for. Tips to train. Okay. If I'm doing home workouts only on Shred and 8, will that provide different, lesser results to gym workouts? Yes, you won't get, the gym will be much more optimal for you, but if all you can do is home workouts, then you will still progress. But realistically, the gym would be a much better scenario. If you get to the gym, you'll get better results. I can guarantee you that. But then if that's the limited tools you have at your disposal, then the home workout will obviously be the best you can do. Are there any supplements that can reduce vascularity? If you find one, let me know, because I've noticed a massive vein that comes down. I've just got Amazon Alexa talking to me now. A massive vein that started to come down the side of my head. And I was looking in the rearview mirror and I could see it pulsating the other day, which is rather off-putting. So if anyone finds one, I don't think there is one, to be honest with you. Paolo, how many calories am I eating a day? Not enough at the moment, to be honest with you. So rest day today, 2,000. Bear in mind I weigh 94 kilos and I have done 2 60-minute power walks today. It's not a lot. And then on my training days, about 2,700. But realistically, every 5 days or so, I'm having to have a higher carb day at the moment, or an off-plan meal just to boost myself back in. Client Arthur, if you want me on the podcast, I need notice. Joe Rogan is on my waiting list too. To be fair, I did think that, Arthur. You'd be a good laugh to have on there, so we could do that. We could do a program review if you fancy that, if you're keen. Does my program require going to the gym daily? Is there daily workout guide, or is it self-constructive? Self-constructive or destructive? Yes, there is obviously a daily workout that I will give you. You don't have to go every day. It depends on your schedule and what you can do. Please answer, is rest day really needed? Yes, obviously. You can't... Think about it logically. When does your body actually grow muscle tissue? Not when you're in the gym, it's when you're recovering. Also, when does your body burn body fat? It's not actually when you're in the gym. So your body excretes adipose body fat tissue through sweat, through urine, and basically through feces is how you get that out of the body. So when you're in the gym, none of these processes are happening. So think about it. Thank you, Tracy. It's very, very kind. Appreciate that. Really, really appreciate that. It's very, very kind of you. I appreciate that as well, Arthur. It's very kind of you, my friend. So I hope you could all... the podcast has been... Said to all here. It looks like James Bond. Has been set up finally. I had to get someone to actually come around and help me sit down and do it, because otherwise I'll procrastinate and won't do it, and set up a million other things. So there'll be tons of episodes of that coming out. There's lots of people I'll be interviewing. If anyone has any suggestions of who you would like me to talk to on the podcast, let me know. I will be doing a podcast with Chris Spearman, as people have already asked already in this chat, so he'll be coming up. Tracy, who just commented on here, is one of his clients as well, so he will be on there on the podcast. Okay, so let's go for the next question. This is an interesting one. How can I get sponsored by brands? this sort of sums up to me is like the value that people provide. Like why. The same thing is like, why should anyone follow anyone? So in reality, what value do you provide to that brand? Why should they sponsor you? Like, why is the thing. And the same thing is why should anyone follow you? So, for example, there's a million other people on Instagram who are in a lot better shape than me, look better than me, have better physique than me, and I'll openly admit that. There's no issue with that at all. I'm working on it. It's a work in progress. However, I try to put out as much educational content and bits and pieces to help you guys as physically possible. Today I have put out a YouTube video, a podcast, 3 Instagram posts, 3 Facebook posts. I'm now doing IG live Q&A. Like, there is a lot of value. All of these things I'm not directly getting paid for. So providing free upfront value is how you get brands to buy into you. So if you make content for them for free or provide a reason for them to want to be associated with you, then chances are they might want to work with you. That's generally how things work. I still do a huge amount of stuff for people for free. If I like them, I'll go up, like people, or buy into people or companies or processes. I'll go above and beyond and do whatever it takes. So I'm all about supporting the people who are in it, who are just the right people, to be honest with you. Question, have I ever heard of the brand PhD? What's your opinion on them? I have used a lot of their products. Their protein powders back in the day, about 3-4 years ago, I used to really like the Cherry Bakewell one. They don't really do proteins and stuff as much anymore. PhD have gone downhill a lot. They seem to focus a lot more on the bars now. The reason because of that is because there's a bigger profit margin in it. So protein powders, for example, are a loss leader for most companies. They don't actually make any money. So protein bars have a big margin. Now, if you want a tip and you want to get in shape, don't spend all your money on protein bars. So that's what I would suggest. It was an image that sticks in my head poignantly. It was 2 guys at Body Power who, not being harsh, were a little bit out of shape. They'd bought 4 boxes of PhD protein bars. They were emptying into their bag. And I just thought to myself, you've just wasted your money, because that's just pointless. Because if your goal is to get in shape, those 4 boxes of protein bars are not going to help that. And I'm not trying to sell them a diet plan, but if they bought a diet plan from me, or someone made them a diet plan, or even just trained them for a session so you know to train correctly, they'd get a hell of a lot more, 1,000 times more out of that value out of that than they would for a load of processed protein and carbohydrates. Yeah, sponsorships, like, a funny thing. I don't really know why people are so caught up about that, and it's almost like an accolade. Like, I don't really care if companies sponsor me or not, to be honest with you. Like, I associate myself with who I want to be associated with, and I've left some brands recently because I don't like the way they conduct themselves, if that makes sense. Let's have a look. So Dan, if you're cutting and sticking to your diet numbers near perfectly, what would be the effect of one cheat meal? Sorry, slowly die. It depends. If you why do you need a cheat meal? Now I don't like the phrase cheat meal. I would always say a free meal, so you can have a meal of whatever you want, but don't have a pizza, ice cream, and a load of crap. So be sensible with what you want, and then go from there. If you're making progress, have one meal a week of what you want, but just don't go mental and binge eat. I referred to my podcast today, the first one, just introducing myself. I've always trained, but I never really got in shape until 26, 7 really, because I was in the understanding that if I did Monday to Friday, I stuck to my plan, the weekend I could do whatever I want. I could eat. I remember sitting on my sofa eating Doritos with the dip stuff, and also getting a Domino's and then a Ben & Jerry's, and then thinking that was acceptable. Whereas in reality, if you're looking to get lean, you've just undone the entire week's work, so you're not going to make any progress. Can you take more than 5 grams of creatine a day? You can take as much as you want, but you don't need more than 5 grams, so only take 5 grams of creatine a day. Let's have a look. Next question. Is it good to train one muscle twice in a week for gaining muscle mass? Yes, higher frequently ideal is great. Yes, Dan, Nando's double chicken breast with wrap is fine. That's not an issue. Just, you know what I'm saying though. Don't go to Five Guys and have 5 burgers and then the ice cream and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? Like, just be sensible. That is fine. I think that's it. Any other reasonable questions? I think we have answered everything. Do you recommend first losing fat weight? Yes. So I'd always suggest getting leaner before you look to grow, because if you're looking to grow from a soft fat position, all that's going to happen is you're going to keep adding on more body fat. So the best thing you can always do is get lean first, and then your body will be very insulin sensitive and ready to grow. So as soon as you put any food in, it will blow up in terms of muscle tissue because you suddenly have surplus calories to grow and also facilitate strength gains, which will also underpin muscle growth. So that would be why I always pretty much suggest with 99% of people who start with me, you need to probably cut back first and then look to grow from there. Question, lean mass should be around 300 to 500 calorie surplus. Is this above maintenance? Well, if it's above maintenance, if it's a surplus, then it's going to be above maintenance. So yes, I would suggest 300 to 500 calories a day excess. And if your weight's not going up, then increase that more. What do I think about fat burners? They don't work. What do I think about keto diet? It works, but it's not because you're cutting carbs, it's because you're cutting calories. So just have a correctly set up diet, which is a carb cycle, and then have carbohydrates, unless you don't want to eat carbohydrates ever again, by all means, but I like carbohydrates. Beer out of limits, yes, if you want to get lean, it's not going to help you. How much protein do you need trying to drop weight? A minimum of a gram per pound of body weight, I would suggest. I'm going to call it a day there, guys, because I have got a Skype call in 2 minutes. So if anyone else has any other direct questions, by all means, feel free to drop me a message. I hope you guys check out the podcast, which is just launched. It's in my story today, so if you could kindly check that out. There'll be episodes coming up constantly. Hope everyone has a wonderful evening. Great start to Monday. Keep up the great work. Summer is nearly here, so get lean.